Hi, Troy. Thank you so much for coming to the Founder Talk. How are you today?
Doing very well, Max. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you to you and to spending so much time with us today. Please, if you want to give an introduction to yourself, and after we walk through Optima Sports Group.
Oh, happy to. So, in our world, we accurately predict athletic performance in professional and amateur sports. We've been doing this for about 25 years. It started with a market research company, and we'd been working with all the big companies, Boeing, Disney, Pfizer, IBM, Intel, Frito, on building predictive models. And the Dallas Cowboys had approached one of the big market research groups, and they came to us to build the models on performance. And so this started over 25 years ago. And about 10 years ago, the lead analyst, the father of the human performance theory threshold models and general systems performance theory, and I said, let's launch Optima and go work with the professional team. So we've worked with 3 Super Bowl champions, an NBA champion, and the MLS Cup winner. And we're now taking this very methodology into high school sports here in the US, academy teams in the UK for the professional soccer teams in Championship League, Bundesliga, and EPL. So we've been having a bit of fun here, that's for sure.
I love sport. I mean, I've been doing sport since I was born. And that's why I'm pretty destroyed now. Sport is beautiful, but you need to be very, very much careful. If you want to share your deck so we can go through it in more details.
So we are the only analytics company that has proven to directly impact winning percentage in multiple sports. So as we see, 5 champions with NFL, NBA, MLB. Our primary customers to date have been the professional sports teams themselves, as well as the agents. And what we're doing for teams is giving accurate, objective feedback because we're building customized models on the individual players themselves and the team. So we can break down a player to find his overall capability to do the task, be it a midfielder in soccer or a NFL quarterback or a Major League Baseball player. We break down the individual athlete and model him to the task to see if he has enough of the physical, technical, tactical, mental, and emotional resources to do that task. So Optima is the only analytics company that actually looks at all 5 key areas in our human performance theory threshold model, where there are several companies that look at the mental aspect or the emotional aspect. Obviously, in soccer, there's several that look at technical ability, but no one has really put together the overall package looking at all 5 key areas. And that's one of the advantages Optima has in building the performance models around players. So as we, and as I mentioned, when we worked with the market research company, we use what's called high-res framework. And that stands for rational, emotional, social. And we can dive in and uncover the drivers of decision, how they make their individual choices, trade-offs, both on the field, the court, the pitch, and also in the locker room. Will they be a problem? Will they be able to sort out their own problems? Or are they a player that can add value immediately? And can they make better decisions? And are they driven to make good decisions? So once we understand how they make those decisions, we plug that data into the physical, technical, tactical ability, and we have the proprietary models that give us the exact performance capability of the individual athlete. So it's pretty interesting. We do injury propensity, player performance and valuation, team synergy and culture. Does this player fit with the team and system? And as you know, Max, there's several really good players, but they always, some of them just don't fit with the best team or with the team that they're drafted from or they come up through the academy from. And so when they get traded, they perform better. So an injury propensity, what's the likelihood of injury? And acclimation, can this player adapt to the specific team and system, as well as foreign players like a German player going to Brazil or a Brazilian player coming to the UK, or in American baseball, you have the Latin players coming in. And there was a Korean pitcher that was taken by the Detroit Tigers and just could not adapt to the American lifestyle and had to go back to Korea. So player acclimation is a big one, specifically in European football and American baseball. And where we are really excited, Max, is taking this methodology that has worked so well in professional sports. We're now taking it into high school football here in the US, college sports and universities, esports, the video game players, and competitive youth soccer. And as I mentioned earlier, we're in the US, you have the camps, but in the UK, you're working with the academies of the professional team. So this becomes a game changer because now teams will have a strong competitive advantage coming through their academies because they'll identify the players that work within that team, be it a Swansea or a Leeds or a Manchester United, or do they develop those players and sell them similar to the Chelsea model? So now your academy is making really good money for the team as well. So we're going to be doing some very unique modeling here starting this year. And that's why we're looking for our initial capital. We've self-funded for the past 9 years. And so we're now going to market to get our first capital in for this growth.
That's very interesting. Where do you see your best application? Because you are covering so much. So where do you see the best to apply when using your platform, your service?
That is difficult because our, let's say pro football, NFL models are 239% more accurate than the actual NFL draft. We have had tremendous success with the NFL. We've had very good success with baseball, with basketball, and now with soccer. So I think as we start doing more work with the European teams, you'll see more growth and more teams adopting the performance modeling. But certainly with youth in sports, this will be a new vertical that will change how colleges recruit. It will change how professional teams view kids because they'll have data from Optima from high school, college to the pros. And we'll be the first analytics company that has both the data and the performance model. So I think, you know, going back to your question, we've had quite a bit of success with the football, the American football, and that continues now with high school here.
I mean, in terms of data, I mean, you must need a very accurate data.
Yes, that's actually one of the other key points that the teams have talked to us about and the universities have talked to us about, including some of the European soccer teams. And so we have what's called data integrity, which identifies, number one, the right data, and also verifies the accuracy of the data. For example, a player was recruited by a university here that just played in the Rose Bowl, and that university was recruiting a cornerback. And Nike, from the Nike camp, listed him at 6'1" and about 200 pounds. And when he showed up on campus for a recruiting visit, he was 5'8", 175 pounds. And so the coaches thought that he had brought his little brother to the visit with him. But again, to your point, data integrity is key in building good performance models. And Optima has figured out a system to accurately get that right data and ensure that it's correct. And then we build the performance model and we give the report to the kids for high school, and we give the reports to the teams for their academies. So this becomes a very big piece of the puzzle, which has not been solved until now with Optima.
I mean, in terms of performance, how better they can go using this data? I mean, and who are today the clients who are going to buy this service today?
Oh, so right now, this year, just looking over at our board here, we have 5 European soccer teams that we'll be working with this year and their academies. We'll be working with the New York Giants and NFL team, and then we'll be working with a couple other teams, plus the launch into high school sports, esports, and competitive youth soccer. Traditionally, as I said, the legacy business is working with the professional teams or the agent and individual players. So those have been the clients with our legacy business.
But just to understand better, if I'm let's say I'm a football team or soccer team, as you say in US, and what can be the best use for me when coming to you? What's the main let's say outcome I'm looking for when coming to you?
So here, Max, here is one of the big differences, and I will show you a player report and a sample of what we build for the players.
Mm-hmm.
So Eli Huggins played in college this year at Kansas State. Last year, he was going to come out in the NFL draft, and so he wanted to find out how well he can perform as a defensive tackle at the NFL level and whether an NFL team should acquire him to be part of their team. So we talked through our approach, our methodology, the data that we're gathering, and then we build a report. And as you look at this report, we compare him to all the other defensive tackles in the NFL over the past 5 years to see how he would compare to them. And our analysis shows that Huggins has some sufficient performance resources as measured against all other current NFL defensive tackles to be successful as a defensive tackle in the NFL. However, and this is answering your question, Max, there are some resources that need to be enhanced and trained to be more successful as a defensive tackle in the NFL. And here are the key points from the upper body strength, endurance, sprint speed, and vertical explosion that he needs to develop in order to really perform well. So Eli stayed at Kansas State this past year, became an all-conference defensive tackle, won a defensive award, became the team captain and the defensive captain. And last year, he would have been a 6th to 7th round pick. And this year, barring an injury he just had, he would have been a 2nd round pick. So the value to the individual players is now they will have a report that identifies key areas that they need to improve in order to perform at the next level.
I mean, you must have so much knowledge to do this.
Oh, yes. We
Enormous
have
amount
a,
of knowledge. For what I can see, it's an enormous help you can give to any team. Now, because we have a limited time, you have been running for a while, bootstrapped and completely self-sufficient. Why decided to go to this round now?
because with the growth, we're hiring several new people. We're launching a marketing campaign. We're building out software because to test 200,000 high school football players, we have to have some pretty robust software. So with all this, the culmination of the growth that we're having, I have to go get our seed round to help grow.
So if you have a 30 seconds elevator pitch to invest, why they should invest in Optima?
We have a proven track record. We have significant intellectual property here. We have contracts that are generating this year 10 million in annual recurring revenue, and we've already had offers to be bought. So pretty safe. And we also have big banks like JP Morgan that are willing to come in on the heels of an investor. So pretty nice to have a bank like that that will be the backstop for an investor. So we've pretty much removed all the risk and all the questions, and happy to give an investor a really good return.
That's more than enough. Thank you so much, Troy, to
Absolutely.
take part, the Founder Talk today. And I really wish you all the best and help in EquityMatch we can help you.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate you and EquityMatch for having me on.
Thank you so much.